Commander Vrell-7 of the Galactic Council Defense Fleet had seen approximately 4,317 species across his two-century career. He had witnessed civilizations that could fold space, races that breathed methane, and even one particularly annoying species that communicated exclusively through interpretive dance, but nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared him for the humans. "Sir, sensors are detecting an anomaly at grid reference Theta-9, his tactical officer, a nervous Kelothian named Brex, announced from his station. His 6 eye stalks twitched in that way that meant he was either terrified or had eaten bad protein paste again. Vrell-7 suspected it was the former. "Define anomaly," Vrell-7 clicked, adjusting his carapace as he leaned forward in his command throne. The bridge of the Council dreadnought Inevitable Justice hummed with the usual efficiency of 1,000 crew members doing their jobs. Everything was normal. Routine. Boring, even. I cannot define it, sir. The readings make no sense. There is something there, but also nothing there. Mass signatures are impossible. Energy readings are negative. Brex's voice climbed 3 octaves, which in Kelothian biology meant panic was setting in. Vrell-7 felt his dual hearts begin to race. Negative energy readings? That violated at least 17 fundamental laws of physics. "Show me." The holographic display shimmered to life above the command deck, and what Vrell-7 saw made his secondary stomach clench. Space itself appeared to be wrong. Twisted. Violated. A massive shadow hung in the void, except it was darker than the void itself, as if someone had cut a hole in reality and forgotten to patch it up. "Sir, I am receiving a transmission," the communications officer, a floating jellyfish creature named Plim, burbled from her tank. "It is in all languages simultaneously? How is that even possible?" "Put it through," Vrell-7 commanded, gripping the armrests of his throne. The voice that echoed through the bridge was distinctly human, laced with an accent Vrell-7 recognized as what humans called Southern United States. It was cheerful, almost friendly, which somehow made it more terrifying. "Howdy there, Council folks. This is Captain Marcus Webb of the Terran Defense Force, commanding the TDFS Whisper in the dark. Hope we did not startle you too much with our arrival. We have been meaning to introduce ourselves proper-like, but you know how it is. Busy schedules and all." Vrell-7's primary brain short-circuited momentarily. The humans. The same humans the Council had dismissed as primitive chemical rocket enthusiasts barely 3 cycles ago. The species that had only achieved faster-than-light travel through the most inefficient quantum tunneling method ever recorded. "This is Commander Vrell-7 of the Galactic Council Defense Fleet. You are in violation of restricted space. Identify your vessel immediately and prepare to be scanned." There was a pause, then what sounded like human laughter. "Well, Commander, that is mighty hospitable of you, but I am afraid scanning is not going to work out too well. See, our ships operate on principles your sensors were not exactly designed to detect. We use dark matter propulsion. You know, the stuff that makes up most of the universe but nobody can see or touch. Yeah. We figured out how to weaponize it." The bridge fell silent except for the panicked chittering of Brex's mandibles. "Impossible," Vrell-7 whispered. "Dark matter cannot be manipulated. Every species in the galaxy has tried. The energy requirements alone would require harvesting an entire star, and the containment fields would need to be about 300,000 times stronger than anything y'all are currently using. Yeah, we figured that out too. Took us about 18 months, give or take. Lost a moon in the process, but that is science for you. Trial and error, mostly error." The human captain sounded genuinely amused. Vrell-7 felt something cold slither down his spine. 18 months. His species had spent millennia trying to crack dark matter manipulation without success. And the humans had done it in less time than it took most council members to approve a lunch menu. "Brex, get me visual confirmation. Now." The display shifted, enhanced imaging struggling to penetrate the darkness. Slowly, impossibly, a shape began to emerge. It was not so much a ship as it was an absence, a negative space carved into existence. The vessel was enormous, easily twice the size of the Inevitable Justice, and its hull seemed to drink in light rather than reflect it, but what made Vrell-7's blood freeze were the readings that finally managed to pierce through. Power signatures that should not exist. Weapons systems that operated on principles the Council had not even theorized yet. And shields, oh blessed ancestors, shields that bent space-time itself into a defensive barrier. Captain Webb, Vrell-7 said carefully, his voice steady despite the terror crawling through his nervous system. What exactly are your intentions? Another laugh, warm and entirely too casual for someone commanding what was essentially a physics-defying nightmare. Intentions? Well, Commander, we just wanted to let the Council know we are here and we are ready to play nice. Humanity has been watching from the sidelines long enough. We figured it was time to introduce ourselves properly and maybe discuss membership. We brought cookies. Cookies? Yeah, chocolate chip. They are real good. My mama's recipe. At that moment, Vrell-7 realized something profound and terrifying. The humans had not just broken physics. They had broken it, weaponized it, wrapped it in a bow, and were now offering baked goods as a peace gesture. The galaxy would never be the same. 3 standard hours later, Vrell-7 found himself sitting across a conference table from the most simultaneously charming and horrifying being he had ever encountered. Captain Marcus Webb was tall by human standards, with graying hair at his temples and a smile that suggested he found the entire situation hilarious. Which, considering the 5 Council admirals who had arrived via emergency quantum jump and were now standing behind Vrell-7 looking like they wanted to molt their skin and flee, he probably did. So let me get this straight, Admiral Korth Prime, a massive insectoid with mandibles that could crush titanium, clicked aggressively. Your species, which we assessed as technologically inferior just 3 cycles ago, has somehow developed dark matter manipulation, faster than light travel that does not use standard quantum tunneling, and weapons systems we cannot even properly scan. And you want us to believe this happened naturally? Captain Webb leaned back in his chair, took a bite of one of those cookies he had mentioned, and nodded. Well, Admiral, I would not say naturally. More like desperately. See, about 2 years back, we picked up some transmissions from your council. Took us a while to decrypt them, but when we did, we learned something real interesting. He paused for effect, and Vrell-7 felt his scales prickle. We learned that the Council has a policy. Species that cannot develop certain technologies within specific timeframes get, how did the document phrase it? Oh right. Quarantined for cultural preservation. Fancy way of saying locked in their home systems forever while everyone else gets to play among the stars. The silence in the conference room could have suffocated a black hole. Vrell-7 exchanged glances with the other admirals. That policy was supposed to be classified at the highest levels. How had the humans even accessed it? That information is extremely confidential, hissed Admiral Strin, a serpentine diplomat known for her cunning. How did you obtain it? Webb grinned wider. We invented the internet. Hacking into your systems was not exactly difficult. No offense, but your firewalls are about as secure as a screen door on a submarine. Which, by the way, is another thing we built that nobody thought would work. Impossible, Korth Prime sputtered. Our systems are protected by quantum encryption matrices that would take centuries to crack. Would have taken us centuries too, if we had tried it your way, Webb agreed cheerfully. But see, we got creative. Used artificial intelligence, neural networks, and a healthy dose of what my granddaddy used to call good old-fashioned spite. Turns out spite is a fantastic motivator. When you tell humans they are going to be stuck on one planet forever, we tend to get innovative real fast. Vrell-7 felt something like respect mixing with his terror. So you developed all of this technology simply to avoid quarantine? Not just to avoid it, Commander. To make sure it never happens to us or anyone else again. Webb's expression turned serious, the humor draining from his eyes. We read those files. All of them. 73 species quarantined in the last millennium alone. Civilizations frozen in time because they did not meet arbitrary benchmarks set by folks who got to the party first. That did not sit right with us. Those civilizations were deemed unready for galactic interaction, Admiral Strin argued, her voice cold. Integration must be controlled, measured, safe. The chaos that would result from unlimited expansion is unthinkable. Chaos? Webb laughed, but there was no warmth in it now. Lady, humans invented chaos. We thrive in it. You want to talk about chaos? We went from beating each other with rocks to splitting atoms in less than 10,000 years. We built flying machines before we figured out proper plumbing. We sent people to our moon before we invented the internet. We are efficiency's worst nightmare, and somehow we make it work anyway. He stood up, and despite being smaller than most beings in the room, he suddenly seemed larger. Here is what is going to happen. Humanity is joining the Galactic Council, not as junior members or probationary participants, but as full partners. And that quarantine policy? It ends today. Every species currently locked away gets a choice. Stay isolated if they want, or join the greater community. And if we refuse? Korth Prime's voice carried the weight of military might that had conquered star systems. Webb smiled again, and this time Vrell-7 saw why humans had become Earth's apex predators despite being relatively weak and fragile. Well, Admiral, we currently have 47 dark matter warships positioned throughout Council space. You cannot see them. You cannot track them. And you definitely cannot stop them. But they are there, waiting. We would really prefer not to use them, though. We would much rather share cookies and talk about how we can make this galaxy a better place for everyone. The conference room erupted into shouting, threats, and what Vrell-7 could only describe as diplomatic pandemonium. But through it all, he watched Captain Marcus Webb calmly eating another cookie, looking completely unbothered. Finally, Vrell-7 raised his primary claw, silencing the chaos. Captain Webb, you have essentially held a weapon to the Council's head while offering us baked goods and platitudes about cooperation. Why should we trust that humanity wants peace? Webb met his eyes, and Vrell-7 saw something genuine there. Because Commander, we could have just shown up and started shooting. We have the firepower to turn every Council world into asteroids before you even knew we were there. But we did not. We came here, announced ourselves, brought cookies, and asked nicely. That should tell you something about who we are. He stood, brushed crumbs off his uniform, and headed for the door. You folks have 48 hours to discuss this among yourselves. After that, we are going to start freeing those quarantined species with or without your blessing. Hope you make the right choice. The cookies are really good, by the way. You should try one before they get cold. As the door closed behind the human captain, Vrell-7 looked down at the plate of cookies sitting innocently on the table. Against his better judgment, he picked one up and took a bite. It was, he had to admit, absolutely delicious. The galaxy had indeed changed forever. And somehow, impossibly, it had changed over cookies and a species too stubborn to accept limitations. Vrell-7 decided that perhaps that was not such a terrible thing after all.
Hello everyone. If you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, don't forget to support our channel. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and share this video with your friends and family. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. We regularly upload amazing, informative, and entertaining content just for you. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to bring even better content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome to our growing community.